Great. Every year the better, which is good. Just for know the language, Spanish, English, Portuñol, Español, Español. Somebody speak English only? Okay. I will talk in Spanglish. Spanglish. I am Argentinian, Larry.
I'm Argentinian too.
Any Argentinian in the crowd? Woo! That's good. That's good. Well, half Argentinian, half Uruguaya, which is in the middle. Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys. So thank you for coming today. We bring a few stuff to share this afternoon, but also we are going to have at the end questions. So feel free to ask whatever you want. If we don't have the answer, we will look for that. And just to introduce, well, the talk today is how to drive sales on Meta platform, right? When we think on Meta, we talk about, of course, Facebook, Instagram. This morning we have been talking about WhatsApp. In the future, we're going to be talking about Threads. In the future, we're going to be talking about Oculus and more platforms, which is very exciting. But just to introduce ourselves, do you want to, you're first?
Okay, my name is Lara Fernandez Hurst. I'm Client Solutions Manager at Meta for about 8 years. And I work with Charly with all the retail, fashion, beauty industry. So very happy to be here.
Yes, my name is Carlos, but everybody call me Charly. We are working together with fashion, beauty, luxury brands for Latin America. And just to try to explain what we do every day is that we try to help brands to grow, right? This is why we wake up every day. For some brands, growth is to build connection with consumer. For other brands, growth is driving sales. For other brands, any brand has different objectives. And what we try to do in our job, because at the end of the day, nobody needs somebody from Meta to be on the platform, because the platforms are open and everybody could be there. But what we try to do is to understand what the brands need, on the other side, understand what is happening within the Meta ecosystem and trying to connect those dots, right? Before starting, so raise your hand who from here is selling something online. Who sell product? Good, love it. Okay. For the one who didn't raise their hands, everybody is selling something in social media, right? So we can sell a product. If not, we are selling a thought. If not, we are selling the influence. If not, we are selling always something. That's why we bring today some examples, some ideas, some recommendations for different, I would say, objectives that the brand has. But at the end of the day, everybody's selling something, and at the end of the day, everybody's fighting, which is not so aggressive, but we're fighting for people's attention, right? Because we, as consumers, all of us has a lot of things to do. We have a lot of platforms to consume, a lot of content to see. But the question is how we can get people's attention, so how we could put the right content on the right person at the right time. If we can do the three things right, we're in a good spot. So jumping into the content, something that we have seen, and this is very exciting for us, something that we have seen the last couple of years, that the desire, the building desire has been moving to new places, right? I always, when I show this slide, I always ask, raise your hand who of you purchase something that's so in social media. You see something in social media, you purchase that immediately, but it's a product that you never thought that you need, or you never know that the product exists. Raise your hand. Everybody. What did you buy? Tell me. What did you purchase?
Me?
Yeah. Okay. So it's not that you wake up in the morning and say, I want to buy this product. You are there consuming content and the product just appear. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Who else? Who purchased something and say, I will never think on buying that? I want an example. Come on, you smiling. Come on.
I purchased on TikTok
Okay. You can have this. That's the funny part of the day.
I purchased on TikTok the turmeric lemon bar soap.
Okay, that's good. But it's not that you, and it's amazing. Well, this is something that is happening more and more. And again, all of us are having some of these kind of behaviors, because what happened is that at the end of the day, the desire has been moving, and we are in this discovery mode, right? It's not that we are going to buy something as we used to be. We need to go in to buy something to the mall or going to buy something to the store. We are every time purchasing something, right? Because we are consuming content, and the content is here, right, in a more personal device. And in this personal device appear products. And when I try to explain to my kids what I do, it's like you are not searching for a product, the product is searching for you, right? The product is finding you, and this is the magic of personalization. But in this, I would say, momentum of brand and product discovery has been moving. If you see, and this is some global data, especially on luxury or affluent consumers. If you think in a couple of years ago, not too much, 4, 5, 6 years ago, social media has been the third, I would say, driver of desire for affluent consumers. Search was the first, TV ad was the second, and social media was the third. But in the last couple of years, this has been changed dramatically, right? So at the end of the day, doesn't matter what product you sell, you have an opportunity to reach your consumer in social media. And sometimes we have, as we mentioned, we like to work with the biggest fashion, luxury, and beauty brands for Latin America and also US. And at the end of the day, everybody is in some point connected. So the consumer is there. What we need to understand is how to connect with them and how to put our product for them to discover. So that's why social media is getting more and more traction on this. We like to call discovery commerce behavior, which is at the end of the day, you are not looking for a soap, you are not looking for a skincare product, but you are consuming content, and in this content is something that is exactly for you, that in some point like know more about you than yourself. Of course, we are not the only ones on this. There are so many, I would say, social media platforms. This is a global data also. Different platforms, different social media companies, and how those apps connect with luxury consumers. But what we, at least for us, is we are very happy to be very relevant on this journey, right? Facebook, Instagram, the two are very, very important. Different market, different realities, different situations. These numbers probably could change a bit market by market. But at the end of the day, when we think about Meta as the whole, I would say, umbrella brand where we can connect with consumers, this is a huge opportunity to reach those persons. And we're going to be talking a lot. Well, last year we talked a lot about organic and how to grow our community. This year, what we agree with the last team is, okay, how we could, or which are the tips that we could share with you guys today to ensure that your Mexican pesos, dollars, or whatever you put in the platform is really working harder, is really getting the best outcome possible for you and for your business to grow. This is some data from different markets. Again, this is public data. This is in the platform. If you are using the platform, you can search for this data. It's basically different audience targeting. We're going to be talking about targeting today, which is a very important part of the equation. But we're talking about 160 million consumers in US, 100 in Brazil, 82 in Mexico. And then what you see in the list is based on not just geography, but also based on interest, right? And we are going to be talking about that, and Larry is going to be talking more about targeting. So, for example, people interested in fashion, people interested in beauty, people interested in luxury. Basically, everything that you do in the platform or with the content or how you consume is giving the platform some insight about which is the content that more connect with you and which is the content that you show more interest, right? Of course, we don't know exactly how much the people react to the content, but all this information is going to the algorithm to optimize and deliver the better content possible with the more personalized way. So today we're going to be talking about three things, right? First of all, very, 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 I would say, from the beginning, which is the media fundamental, is how many of you, for example, are running campaigns on Meta? Okay, a lot of people, nice. So we're going to go a little more deeply on the platform. How is the process to set up a campaign, which is the key things to consider. And this is going to be the first part, right? Probably a little more theoretic, but I think at some point it's good because sometimes we talk about best practices, but when we leave the room, how we put that in action, right? The idea is that you today take one thing or two things to execute. And then we're going to be going deeply on the two main frameworks that we have. We have one framework, which is the brand building framework, which is at the end of the day, how we build a brand using the platform to generate demand, right? It's not that we are trying to just build awareness. No, we're trying to build awareness, build a brand, be well known about some of the product that we have and generate demand. At the end of the day, everybody here is trying to sell, right? As we mentioned. So the brand building best practices is more, for example, for brands that don't have an e-com or is selling it through a third party. So at the end of the day, you don't have this, I would say, control of the full journey. And on the other side, we're going to be talking also about the conversions best practices, which is more for brand who has an e-com or who has Shopify or who has any way, any channel to really connect with the consumer and trying to sell. So this number 2 is going to be more upper and mid funnel if you want, and the number 3 is going to be more lower funnel. So these, in some point, are what all beauty, luxury, and fashion brands does are in these two, I would say, main buckets. So saying that, let's go and jump into the media fundamentals. Probably some of these you already know, but please write your questions because we're going to have Q&A at the end.
Perfect. So we are going to talk a little bit about business goals and objectives in our platform, targeting or audience segmentation, placements and formats, and just a very quick deep dive on what Ads Manager is. That is our platform to run the ads. I think some people here are nodding, so they know our platform. That's great. So first of all, we have goals and objectives for considering like the full funnel of all the advertisers that want to be in Meta. As Charly mentioned, there are advertisers or brands that only focus on the upper funnel because they don't have their own e-commerce. So we have objectives for the awareness. We have objectives available for consideration and for conversion. Our platform is like full funnel, and you can run any strategy you want in our platform considering these 3 stages. Of course, it will depend on the main KPI and the objective that you have as a business, and then you have to translate your business KPI and objective to a platform objective. As you can see, we have 3 main objectives that are awareness, consideration, and conversion. In the awareness part is when we are focusing more on generating awareness, reaching more people, generating brand awareness. If we want people to view and interact with our videos, or to target people are near the locations of our stores. So if you are planning to run a campaign with a KPI more focused on reaching a lot of people and generating awareness of your brand, choosing the awareness objective is the right strategy for you. Then we have objectives more focused on consideration. When we talk about consideration, is people interacting with your brand, not purchasing, but trying to generate a connection with your brand, not only just know the brand exists, but do something with you. It can be either traffic or engagement, leads, or app promotion. When we talk about traffic, it is something that we do when we try to make people click on our ad and visit our website. So we have different kind of optimizations, but the thing is that we are trying to drive people from Meta ads to a specific website. We can also look for engagement. That can be people sending messages to us or interacting with our ad. That's gonna be the engagement objective. We can use the lead ads also as an objective that is trying to generate data from our potential customers. So people giving us their information, name, email, phone number, for then we can retarget them or interact with them in the future. So asking them to share with us information so we can share with them the latest updates of our brands. And in case you have an app, you can use also the app promotion strategy, encouraging people to download your app and start interacting with your brand in your app. So as you can see, these are different objectives, all for the consideration part of the funnel. And logically, we have the lowest part of the funnel, that is my favorite, that is the conversions, because here we are focusing on generating sales in our platforms. So we are optimizing towards purchases, and we are asking our platform to reach people that are willing to buy products from our website or app, in case we have it, and we optimize towards it. So our platform will, our machine learning will try to look for a specific audience that is willing to buy online, targeting them and trying to generate the highest amount of purchases or value or revenue out of the campaigns that you are running, so optimizing towards those purchases. In this case, we recommend having, in most of the cases, we recommend having a catalog, because running sales objective with a catalog showing all the different products that you have is a very good way to connect with our audience and to personalize the ad in any way, because at the end of the day, each of us will receive a different creative. From the same ad, we have a different creative, because each person will receive different products shown in the ad based on their interest or what they are willing to buy. So for the sales objective, we really encourage you to have a catalog and to integrate what we call a pixel to have the data from your website that we can optimize for.
Do you have a catalog? Raise your hand who has a catalog. Good. Right. Eva, that's good.
Then we will talk a little bit about audience segmentation. As you may know, there are a lot of people on Meta platforms. So there are different ways to reach the people that is relevant for your business. First, we can create manually an audience based on these 4 pillars: location, either cities or countries where they are based on, or mainly focus on where we deliver our products or where we want to create the brand awareness. We can also target by demographic. This, we can define the gender, age segments, gender and age. Then we can focus on interest, and as Charly mentioned at the beginning, beauty, fashion, travel, luxury. So we can choose different brands to focus on those people that are interested in those specific categories. And last of all, we can also choose behavior targeting, that is frequent travelers or people who tend to buy products of high value compared to those who tend to buy products of mid-value products. So there are many ways you can segment your audiences based on these 4 different options that you have, and you can, of course, combine all of these together when you create an audience. We will talk a little bit at the end about audience segmentation. We do not recommend to go very, very micro segmentation. Like, we don't recommend focusing on women 18 to 20 living in Miami that are interested in luxury fashion and this, and that also have this and that behavior, because at the end of the day, micro audiences generate micro results. So we want you to give the platform the information you have from your customers, because at the end of the day, it's your business, but try not to be so narrow and try to be broad, so our platform can also use our machine learning to reach the specific audience that is relevant for your business. Then we can also create audiences based,
Through that, so how can you balance that, right? Because if you're too open, maybe you're generating traffic that you don't want. But again, if you're saying it's too narrow, then you just have micro, but it's the people that you want. Or how can you balance between going broad and narrow?
That's a great question, and I will answer you in 2 parts. First of all, we have noticed that creative is the new targeting. So if you go broad, but you have different creatives with focusing on different values or messages you want to position your brand, at the end of the day, the creative will find the specific audience for that creative. So we recommend being broad and having different creatives based on motivations or information from your business. And on the second hand, we also recommend you to focus on the objective and on the optimization. If you want to sell online and you create a campaign with a sales objective and you optimize towards purchases, it doesn't matter if it is too broad. The platform has a lot of information of what people are doing online and will find the people that is relevant for you, even if the targeting seems too broad for you. But the platform behind is running a process to find people that are really interested in your specific products.
I will add something there, which is always a good question. Sometimes imagine that you are fishing, right? So you can fish in a pond or you can fish in the ocean. At the end of the day, fishing in the ocean is going to be more effective because for the platform it's going to be easy to find those fishes. Of course, we don't want to fish in a place that there is no fish, right? Because this is going to be inefficient. But at the end of the day, being broad is better. Sometimes when we define, okay, I want to sell this product, I want to sell this can, and you say, okay, my target is woman between 18 to 24 or male 25, 45. But this is more like my assumption as a marketer, right? If you are selling this, it's more like I want to sell this. Whatever the person want to buy, right? So at the end of the day, being broad is that you're giving more, I would say, chances to the platform to find the better conversion. I want to be talking about that. We have questions at the end. I want to take one more because she's raising the hand. Yeah, go.
My question is, if you know that to be broad, do you also mean like in all states? Like I live in the United States.
Yes.
I think I know that my product sells in certain states.
Yes.
Should I put broad as all the U.S. or only the East and West Coast or wherever?
That's a good question. Depends a lot on the type of, you add whatever you want. Depends a lot of the type of your campaign. For example, if you are selling a product, but you are selling just in few states, go to this state. It's more this concept of mental availability, physical availability. So you don't want to be present in a place that you are not able to do business. If you are open to ship to any part of US and it's a purchase campaign, be US. At the end of the day, and this is very important, sometimes we say, okay, be US. The main thing that you're going to think is, I'm going to be there dropping impressions and budget to find somebody. And that's not the way. The way is you are giving the platform the whole country, and the platform is going to find in this 160 million consumer who is the best to purchase your product. So at the end of the day, it's not that you are wasting budget or wasting impressions, it's that you are giving bigger space to find those consumers, right? If there is more on the brand side, which is not purchase, it's more on the building your brand, sometimes, of course, depends on where you have your stores, where you have the physical places where the people can buy this product, right? But if you are selling online and you can deliver national, probably be national.
I don't have a store.
Oh, totally.
Physical store, but I can ship anywhere.
Exactly. So in this case, you can be total US, and the platform is going to find the more efficient or the more, I would say, cheaper conversion within the whole universe of US. Yeah.
And I will use an example to explain this, what Charlie was mentioning. I'm working with a brand that sells swimsuits in all the world because they have like open delivery to any country. They are running a campaign specifically for Latin America, so they defined all the countries in Latin America. And we noticed that their best-selling markets are Puerto Rico and Costa Rica, and that's where 80% of the investment is going, because the platform, if the signals, now we are going to talk a little bit about signals. If your pixel and your data and the signals are correctly integrated, our platform knows where you are selling your product. It's an information that you have, but we also have thanks to the pixel. So our platform will realize that you are selling most on the West and East Coast, and the platform will focus their impressions in those places, and they will find maybe some opportunities in other states, but the share of delivery there of investment will be very low because the platforms realize that there's not such a big opportunity there, or the quick wins are in the East and West Coast. And that's what happened with this client. The investment in Argentina and Chile is very, very low because the platform realizes that the amount of purchases that are there are smaller than Puerto Rico and Costa Rica, for example. So if you have your signals well integrated, our platform will know the same that you know from your business. Continuing with this, and that's very important, why we always recommend integrating a pixel if you have a website job, because at the end of the day, that's the base from our machine learning to work, is having the signals from your site. And based on these signals, you can also target audiences, people that are visiting your website, people that have purchased in the past, people that purchased only when there's a commercial event or you have specific discounts. And based on that information, you can create audiences to retarget those audiences, or try to sell more on those who only purchase when there's a commercial event, or retarget those who are visiting the website but haven't purchased yet. And related to this, there are two other types of audiences. One is custom audiences, where you can create, based on the website or app, audiences that have interacted with your products, but you can also integrate audiences of your Instagram account, followers, or those who have viewed your videos in previous campaigns. So there are many ways to create what we call custom audience. And based on them, you can create what we call lookalike audiences, that are people that are not part of that base, but are similar with a similar, or that behave in a similar way than those audiences. So this is another interesting way to target that is not so broad, but not so narrow. The idea is for you to combine the different audiences that we have and find what is the best audience combination in terms of investment to maximize performance. But it's, at the end of the day, it's all test and learn and find the best strategy for your business. The third point that we wanted to highlight here is placements and formats. We know that for you, Meta is, okay, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. But here you can see we can deliver ads both in Facebook and Instagram feeds, also in Facebook and Instagram stories, also in Reels, and in in-stream videos. So we have a lot of different placements where your ads can be delivered, and our recommendation always is be as broad as similar to the audience, as broad as possible in terms of placements. Let the algorithm find the correct people in the correct placement, because I may spend a lot of time in stories, and so the placement where advertisers will reach me in a cheaper way is going to be in stories because I spend a lot of time there. But Charly is a heavy user of Reels, so it's going to be cheaper to reach him on Reels. And at the end of the day, that's information that you don't have, where your audience is spending their time. So giving the platform more options is going to be cheaper for you to reach them in our platforms.
And just to add one point there, because something that always we discuss with our partner. For example, we have partners that say, Charly, Lara, my consumers are only on Reels, right? Or Charly, Lara, my consumers are only on Instagram. I know that they are not in Facebook. I know that they... And at the end of the day, we are talking about 160 million people. At the end of the day, not everybody consuming in the similar way. And that's what we mentioned. If you have coverage across all those surfaces, if there is one consumer who is trying to purchase, they are going to be able to sell. If not, the worst case that a scenario is going to be if your audience is not there, the platform is not going to get to have delivery on that platform or in that placement. So this is the worst case scenario, that don't deliver. But at the end of the day, it's better to be broad and to have multiple places where you can find your audience, because sometimes we are surprised on this decision. No, my audience is only on stories. At the end of the day, everybody consumes in a different way, right?
And combining with placements, we also have different formats. You can create ads with a single image, video, carousel, collection. I must say that these last two are key if you have an e-commerce and if you are trying to optimize towards purchases. Or I think the last three, like having videos with your products, but also having carousels with the different products that you have in your website, or collection ads, are key. But the idea, again, is to combine the different formats, and then the platform delivers the ones that it thinks is more relevant for each person that is part of your audience. And last of all, and I don't want to be too deep dive here, but just for you to familiarize a little bit with our Ads Manager platform, there are many ways to create ads on Meta. You can do it directly on your phone with your Facebook or Instagram app, but we really encourage you to use our platform, our platform that is Ads Manager, because you can create campaigns. You have a wider variety of objectives, optimization, placements, audiences. So the options that you have there is much bigger than doing it at the phone with the phone app. And you can monitor and review the campaign. So we really encourage you, if you don't use it, to try and to test Ads Manager. It's pretty simple. And at the end of the day, all we have reviewed in our previous slides can organize in campaign level, ad set level, and ad level. I'm going to explain it very, very quickly so it's clearer for you. So first of all, when you open the Ads Manager platform, you will see the campaign level. Here is where you define the objective, buying type, and the budget as what we call advantage campaign budget. So here you are going to define one of the most important things for a campaign, that is the objective and the buying type. The buying type can be either auction or reach and frequency, and the objectives are the ones that we mentioned at the beginning of these slides. The most important thing here is that once you define this, you will not be able to change it. So if you decide then to change or to set up a different campaign or a different objective, you have to set up a new campaign. Inside each campaign, you will have different ad sets, And here is where you define most of the things related to the campaign. Because here at the ad set level, you are going to define the budget, the timeline, the audience, the placements, the delivery optimization, the optimization event. So this is where most of the most important part of your campaign is going to happen is at the ad set level. One campaign can have several ad sets. We will talk a little bit at the end about how to structure strategies. And then the third part that we have when we create a campaign is the ad level, where you choose the creative. Here, as I mentioned before, for one campaign you can have several ad sets. For each ad set you can have several ads, combining formats, creatives, etc. Here you define the identity, what is the fan page or the Instagram account where the ad is going to come from, the format, creative elements, language, and you can define the tracking if you're running a sales campaign and you have your pixel.
Perfect. Sometimes the people ask, okay, Charlie, Lara, I know, what's better, using a video or using an image, right? Or doing this or doing that? Or what is the best performing ads or the performing format? And it's a hard question to answer because depends a lot on the type of business, depends a lot on what you want to achieve. Change also within different brands. We as we mentioned, we work with multiple brands. For some brands, some type of content perform better than others. That's why at the end of the day, it's a lot of testing and learning. And this is some, of course, we know, we mentioned, we are seeing dozens of brands, how they execute, best practice, how the product has built for. But at the end of the day, we don't have the crystal bubble. We need to go, the crystal ball, we need to go and test and learn. And again, sometimes the way that the product has been built works in that way for a brand, and in other cases, they are going against this best practice. So that's why it's very important to test and learn, and this is the key mindset that we try to build on the partners that we work with. So jumping into the second part, again, it's not one-size-fits-all solution, but we build some kind of playbooks. Why we build playbooks? Because we consolidate learnings, meta-analysis, and we try to share broadly some of the learnings for helping the brands to have, I would say, a faster learning curve. So this is what we call brilliant basics. Sometimes we call it media foundations. It's basically all the learning that we got to build a brand on Instagram and Facebook, and especially to impact what we call the upper and mid funnel, right? So the awareness part and also all the traffic, lead. For the sales part, it's like a different animal. We're going to be talking about another framework, which is called Power 5, right? But this framework is what we usually do for building a brand. So, of course, when we're trying to build a brand, there are multiple factors that impact the brand building effort. And again, it's not just build the brand, it's build the brand to generate demand, right? It's not that, because sometimes we have partners that we say, hey, Charly, Lara, we have 90% top of mind. We are a very well-known brand, but this is not just building your brand, it's trying to, how you need to communicate to generate demand of your product. And there are multiple factors, right? Some of those factors are outside of our control, because again, we don't have no control on economic impact, we don't have control on GDP, we don't have control on what the competitors are doing, but we have control in other areas. Which are the three areas that we have control? Execution, right, which is the media, I would say, levers that we play. Creativity is the second area we have control, because we decide what put or we don't put in the platform. And the third one is budgeting, decide how much to invest. These are the three areas that we control. And these three areas are responsible of the 50% of the volume sale that we got. So 50% of the sales that a campaign could generate is based on factors that are outside of our control, but the other 50% is in our hands. So we're going to be talking about that, and especially on three main, which is target all potential buyers. This is very important, especially when we are selling a luxury product, which is a high ticket product. Also, how is the frequency of the communication? Because again, if we don't repeat to the people, of course, has too many things. We have too many things, not just the people, because we are people. We have so many things in our head that we forgot, so we need to repeat, right? Frequency is critical, repetition is critical, like in anything that we do, and also continuity. So this is one slide that I would say summarize very, very quickly these three main factors. Of course, are more factors, yes, but these are the key ones. So, audiences, be as broad as possible. Again, be broad mean reaching people who can afford my product? No, of course, we are trying to reach as much people who could purchase our product. This depends on the nature of our product. We have a client, for example, who saw a different category toothpaste. At the end of the day, the target is everybody who has a mouth, right? But again, be broad is better than be niche. Why? Because as Lara mentioned, niche effort brings niche results. And also when you are fishing a bigger pond, the cost per fish is cheaper. So at the end of the day, if you can do with less, you can get more with your same budget. So being broad is a good idea. Frequency, this is the most important part, and frequency is the number one driver of sales today, which is responsible across 30% of the sale, which is how many times you show this content to the consumer. We need to show a content to the consumer in average between 1.5 and 2 times per week. Again, 1.5 times per week is a big difference, yes, because this 0.5 is a big difference. What depends? If I am an emerging brand, if I have low market share, if I have a very, I would say, easy message, if I am in more a challenging situation, probably it's going to be more close to 2. If I am a well-known brand with high market share, I'm probably going to be close to 1.5. But again, think that you need to show something 1.5 times at least per week. And then continuity. Why continuity is important? Because every time that we have a campaign and you stop to do a campaign and then we launch again and then you stop, all this back and forth, stop and start, stop and start, stop and start, of course, move us is like we are running always in the same place. Again, this is something also that is important. Mostly of the brand, fashion, luxury brands are very focused on seasonal moment, which is good. But again, what we are facing now is, I would say, the biggest challenge for the brands right now is how to communicate and how to be top of mind of the consumer out of a commercial moment, right? In commercial moment, everybody wants to buy this product, and we talk about discount, or we talk about offer, we talk about mini or whatever, but out of this moment, it's very hard to sell full price, right? So that's why we need to communicate at the moment too. So these are the 3 main, I would say, factors to build a brand. Some advice that we could get, what we should have in this brand building. One is Reels. Yes, Reels is very important. Why? Because 50% of the spend time in the platform is on Reels. It's huge. So if you want to reach consumer, you need to have something in Reels. Charly, Lara, I don't have a real content. Okay, if you have a vertical video, use this video. If you don't have a video to do there, create a video to be there, right? Because if not, you're going to be missing 50% of the chance to reach your audience. The second one, very important, creators. The creators are very important. Why? Because it helps to create consideration, helps to connect with the audience, helps to build those bridges between brand and consumers. The common question is, oh, is my brand or is creator? It's not A or B, it's A plus B. It's the two together, right? So the best, I would say, mindset that we need to change in the industry than creators is, or influencer is not just PR. It's not giving a product and the people posting. No, it's bringing those content and put those content within your campaign. Use this creator, influencer, ambassador, whatever we have, as another asset of our campaigns, right? Well, I already mentioned that, 50% of the spend time on Reels, especially if you are consuming Reels, the Reels are consuming with sound on, right? This is a change from previous recommendation in other formats, but the Reels are with sound on, and honestly also deliver a high consideration of the product. And this is something that we also do more in practice, which is the collaboration between brands and creators. In this case, the fashion getter is the creator, Dior is the brand, and these two are collaborating. But this collaborating is not just organic. As you can see, there is a sponsor there. This sponsor means that there is paid media behind. Why there is paid media behind? Because the organic distribution in the platform is less and less and less and less. This is not new for all of us. So should we do organic? Of course, it's great for your community, but if you want to scale and reach more people and bring more people to your business, you need to invest. And we talk about that with our partners and say, oh, but this works with everybody. This works with all the categories. This works for a CPG brand who is selling shampoo, and also work for a luxury brand who is selling handbags. At the end of the day, of course, we need to think on which is the audience that we want to reach as much people as possible with the right frequency, and this, I would say, is the better recommendation. Say that, jumping into the lower part.
Let's go. Let's talk a little bit about best practices for sales objective campaigns. We have like 5 minutes, so I will try to cover very quickly so you have time for Q&A after this. So we will talk about this performance 5 framework that we have, that are 5 relevant and important best practices that you should consider when running lower funnel campaigns. Let's start with account simplification. I'm going to stand here to explain it better. So these are 2 examples, or these are 3 examples of how advertisers can organize a campaign. Let's go with the first one. Let's consider we are targeting here women 18 to 35 that are interested in traveling, and here women 18 to 35 that are interested in fashion. So we have 1 campaign for each, 1 ad set, and 1 ad for each. At the end of the day, there's going to be women in both campaigns, because it may happen to many of you, or even me, that I'm interested in fashion and traveling, so I'm part of both of them. So at the end of the day, I'm kind of competing with myself, choosing the same audience, kind of this audience with a big overlap between. Here's another way an advertiser can do it, that is, okay, I have 1 campaign, but 2 ad sets, the same, women 1835 travel interest and fashion interest. Same situation that there. And here we have this other example when we have 1 campaign, 1 ad set, and then different ads. So I include all women 18 to 35, interest in fashion or travel, and I create different ads. At the end of the day, this strategy is the most efficient one. Why? Because, first of all, we don't have audience overlap. We are including all the universe in the same campaign and in the same ad set. And the other thing is that in order to exit what we call the learning phase, that is when our platform starts working properly, we need 50 conversions per ad set. Here we have 1 ad set, and here we have 2 ad sets, or like in the same campaign, or 2 ad sets because we have 2 campaigns. So here we need 100 sales to exit the learning phase. Here we need 100 sales to exit the learning phase. Here we only need 50 because we unified the audience. So what we recommend, I'm going the other way around, sorry about this. Here we are. So what we recommend is trying to having campaigns in a more simplified strategy, and what we call account simplification is going to be one of the keys in order to succeed when running performance campaigns.
I would say that 50 is the magic number, right? So when you're reaching 50 conversion, could be 50 add to cart, could be 50 purchases. This is where the platform already know what to do and how to do it well. If you're taking a decision, if you're not reaching 50, probably the platform is still missing some info to really achieve the full potential.
Yeah, the second pillar is automation. We have, and I think many of you have heard a lot about machine learning and AI. This, what we call our advantage shopping campaigns, is our AI-driven performance sales campaign that Meta has launched like a year and a half ago. You will see that there are several things that you will not be able to select, like the audience is going to be broad. You can only define the age, the country, but then it's going to be broad, no interest selection. The placements is going to be, by default, all placements. The creative, you will be able to combine different creatives, but it's going to be, again, the platform, the ones who chooses how to deliver. So these strategies that are seems to be very broad, but are based on AI, and everything you see that's called Advantage Plus is what we recommend because it's automation and it's the AI playing the biggest role. Third, I mentioned, I think, when there was a question there, that we tend to say that creative is the new targeting. We recommend having different creatives for your same product, but different motivations. So focusing on different features of our brand or different messages we want to communicate, develop creatives that communicate different things, but are all unified, talking about the same product or the same brand. So then you will be able to reach all the specific audiences that are maybe interested in your products because of the ingredients, or are maybe interested in your products because of the results. So having different creatives, you will be able to have a better reach and better performance. No, I'm not going to focus a lot of this, but data quality, if garbage in, garbage out, so we need you to send us the correct data, as I mentioned in the Pixel and the SDK, like right signals are going to generate good performance results. If the data is missing, then of course our platform will not be able to optimize. And last of all, and I think this is my favorite point, it's what we call test and learn or result validations. We don't have a secret formula to tell you do A, B, C, D, and you will have the highest ROAS. It's test and learn. Consider what we have explained, research online, and do a small test in the platform, run an A/B test, cell A versus cell B with a variable that is different between them, either creative, formats, audience, whatever. Test it, identify the results, define, okay, this is the most efficient strategy, and keep running this way, testing and learning to see what's the best strategy for your brand. Because at the end of the day, maybe not all the similar strategy that our brand A runs is going to perform the same way for brand B. So at the end of the day, you have to find your own strategy. And just to close, these are some numbers of what we have seen on average in our platforms when advertisers adopt each of these 5 pillars: account simplification, automation, creative diversification, data quality, and results validation. That's why we know that these are best practices, but then there are a lot of things that you can learn from your own business, testing and running tests in our platforms.
Well, we are on time. I don't know if you have time for 2 or 3 questions. Have time? No, we don't have time for questions, but we can share. You can text us in Instagram. We can share. Don't worry. Before leaving, we're on time. We have a gift for you. We have a platform which is called Blueprint. It's a very easy go platform. You can go Facebook blueprint.com. So basically, Blueprint has all the courses about audiences, implementation, messaging, creative, all the things that we have been talking today is available there. Our pre-record video, also we publish the different live session that we have. So I would say this is going to be a good way to go if you want to know more or go to more deeply on some specific point. So that's all. We don't have time for Q&A, but we can share our Instagram, so you can send the question on Instagram, and we promise we take those and we're going to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before leaving,